Hello everyone. We are going to understand now about virtual memory completely. In this session, I'm going to take you people into the topic of the virtual memory. Let us stay focused because this virtual memory concept is an intersecting concept in between computer architecture and operating systems. So if you can understand this virtual memory completely, you will be able to answer any questions. Okay, and I'm going to give you the architectural perspective of the virtual memory. Okay, how it is going to be treated and how it is going to be perceived, how it is going to be realized. Everything we are going to understand at the core of the architecture, so that even you will be able to, you know, solve any of the operating systems questions. So for that, let us stay focused. Here, let us say, first of all, understand what is virtual memory. Okay, now I want to understand the term virtual memory. Okay, what is virtuality? Virtuality is like illusionary. We will think that there is something like that is existing, but actually in reality that won't exist, right? Similarly, virtual memory is a virtual memory which is an illusionary memory. Okay, and in reality it will not exist. Try to understand what is existing in the illusionary aspect, and why don't it is existing in the real aspect. Let us stay focused. Now I will tell you that there is a secondary memory. Let us stay focused that there is a secondary memory of the system. The secondary memory is equal to 1m. I do have a 1m secondary storage. So the secondary storage requires 20 digits for address, right? 20 digits for address. I do have a main memory. That main memory is, let us say, 32k. 32k meaning I do require 15 address digits. So every time, being a programmer, when you want to use an address, your address must be equal to 15 digits, not 20 digits. Because you know that the secondary memory is not available, right? For a programmer, secondary memory is not available. If programmer wants to use any address, that address must be equal to 15 digits. So he has to generate the addresses which are equal to 15 digits. Whenever he is writing a code of programs, whenever he want to design an address part, he has to design the address part with just 15 digits. He can't design the address part with the 20 digits because the available main memory is equal to just 32k. Okay, now you just keep on writing the programs with the 15 digit address. Okay, but sometimes in some advanced computers, this programmer will be given an illusion that the total available physical memory is the secondary memory of the system. Okay, that is, the programmer will be told that you do have 1m main memory. What is 1m? 1m is not main memory. Okay, 1m is just secondary memory. But the programmer will be told that there is a main memory which is equal to 1m available in the system. The programmer will be told. Programmer will be given an illusion. So the programmer will be encouraged to construct his address part with the 20 digit. Okay, every time when he has to use address, generally he has to use just 15 digits, but now he will be using 20 digit address because he is told that the total available physical memory is equal to 1m. Okay, so he started constructing 20-bit address rather than 15-bit address, but what is the actual reality? Do we have 1m? Do we have 1m second main memory? 1m main memory is not available. The actual main memory is equal to 32k. The reality is just 32k. Illusionary is 1m. So he believed that his main memory is equal to 1m and he started constructing with 20 bits. Okay. So once after the program has been written, then the address references will have to be sent to where? Main memory only, right? Taking this 20 digits, you can't go to the secondary memory because the access to the secondary memory is strictly prohibited, because I told you the access ratio, if you could remember, our access ratio is 1:7 lakhs, right? If all it takes is 7 clock cycles for accessing a word in main memory, it will take 7 lakhs clock cycle to access something from the secondary memory. So access length to the secondary memory is prohibitively long. So CPU directly doesn't access secondary memory. So either it could be the physical address or a virtual address, whatever you construct, that has to be accessed only through main memory. This concept is called virtual memory, in which the programmer has been given an illusion that the total secondary memory is available to him. So he uses 20 digits. When he constructed addresses by using 20 digits, finally this 20 digit address has to be located in the main memory, which just supports 15 digits. So the programmer will have to translate this address to 15 digit address. The address which is equal to 20 digit, which is referenced by the programmer, should be translated to the 15 digits, which is actually available in main memory. Okay, so this process is called virtual memory. Okay, now let us understand the several things of the virtual memory before we actually enter into the in-depth knowledge of the virtual memory. Okay, here as it is told, virtual memory is auxiliary memory to the main memory. That is, programmer thinks that the total main memory is the secondary memory, but the physical memory is just main memory, right? So the translate program generated address to the main memory location. Here in the case, the program generated address is 20 digit by the programmer. It has to be translated to just 15 digits. Okay, so this virtual memory system is going to translate the address which is generated by the programmer, which is equal to 20 digit, to the available 15 digit physical address. Then the total virtual memory system gives the programmers the illusion that they have very large memory, even though the computer actually has relatively small main memory. Right? The virtual memory system provides a mechanism for translating program generated address space into the correct main memory locations while the programs are being executed in the CPU. Program generates virtual address. This virtual address is just virtuality, it is not reality. In real, the actual address available at the main memory is 15. So the virtual memory system provides a mechanism for translating program generated addresses to correct main memory locations, which are equal to 15 digits, while programs are being executed by the CPU. Okay. Now, before we get into the details, let us stay focused. What are the terms that are needed to understand? Here in this session, we're just going to identify the terms. Okay. We need to understand what an address space is. Okay. And we need to understand what is a virtual address. We need to understand what is a memory space. And we need to understand what is a physical address. And we need to understand two more terms in addition to this. Those are, one is page and one more is block. Okay. So that process, we're going to do it in the very next session. Thank you.